propagate. So we'll just kind of buy time for like a few, maybe 10 or 20 seconds while we wait for the signal to actually sort of percolate, across the interwebs. Yeah, I think we should be good to go right about now. Okay, cool. So, hello. Thank you for joining us. If you're joining us live, or if you're catching this on the replay, yeah, thank you for taking time to actually watch this. Welcome to Catalysis. I shall be breaking down what's going to be happening here today. So today we're going to be talking about a particular proposal from Fund2 on Catalyst. Looking back in hindsight, in this particular project was titled Proof of Life, and we're going to be joined soon by the proposer, whose name is Nostradamus. Right, so now, for context, let me actually sort of break down what Cardano is and what Catalyst is, for those of you who are actually new to all of this. So Cardano is a cryptocurrency, right? So you can think of Cardano as being the machine, and the currency which actually sort of like flows through it, which oils a machine, is called ADA. And so whenever a transaction happens within Cardano, a fee goes into this big pot that's called the treasury. And what's awesome about this is that this pot is basically a whole bunch of money that the community can actually get to spend in terms of actually funding proposals, right? So proposals, are just problems in the world, or wherever you are. If there's a particular problem which you think, oh, actually, I think this new nature of sound money and irrevocable identity, and all the awesome stuff that sort of crypto enables. It enables you to to build, again, like whether it's a physical thing or online, whether it's online or offline, right? So that's Cardano in a nutshell, and what Catalyst is. So Catalyst is basically the fund which takes money from the treasury and gives it out to people to actually to build awesome stuff, right? So just for context, so Fund2 had around the equivalent of 250,000 ADA, well, USD equivalent, right, of ADA available, and now Fund3 actually has double that, 500,000 worth of USD equivalent in ADA. So Catalysis is just a program on Cast, which basically we go through the process of different sort of projects on Catalyst, and get to introduce people to the people who are actually proposing the different proposals, for lack of a better word, and sort of we humanize the process, and we break down sort of the different sort of complex ideas, so that people actually are able to be well informed about the different proposals, and what so that they can actually be able to vote on it and engage with the proposals in a sort of well informed way. So now, with that out of the way, I am now going to bring on our guest, Nostradamus. Hey, man.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you
Nice
for
to see you
actually.
again.
Yeah, nice to see you as well, man. Like, it's been a while since we last spoke. Thank you for actually like taking time, to come on and speak, about your experience through Fund2, with your proposal Proof of Life. I was going to actually introduce you with this comment which I saw on one of your videos, which perhaps you might remind me. Is someone within the community saying Nostradamus is the hero that it's not the hero that we deserve, but the one that we need. Was that the right?
Yes, correct.
That was it. Yeah,
It's a
and
pool operator, yeah.
exactly, yeah, a pool operator who actually in that same comment, said, actually, Nostradamus's presence in the community is one of the things that actually inspired him to be more to be part of the community, and actually to start a pool, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's right. Actually, nobody never told me I left Cardano because of you. So now the balance is positive +1. So if there's people telling me that they left Cardano because of me, there's nobody at the moment. So we are in the positive balance now. So it's perfect. I'm just so glad that I could be part of somebody's dream or plan for future. That is just great. And he will do his own experience. But if I can be a small part of the kickstart, it's just great.
Yeah. So those for those of you who are unfamiliar with Nostradamus, like he is somewhat of a controversial character, because he's not afraid to sort of what's the word to was it something to power to
I'm not here to be loved. Many people are on YouTube to be loved. I mean, to receive a lot of like, a lot of views, a lot of followers. That's
yeah,
never been my case.
yeah.
I had something to say. I had a lot of followers and a lot of people who don't follow me, and that's fine. I mean, that's the way I did it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So truth to power, that's the expression that that I was looking for. And I really like characters like Nostradamus, because it's important, not to just be, a whole bunch of sycophantish, which, unfortunately has been the case. But yeah, so characters like yours, I think are really important, and ought to be highlighted as well. Right. So I'm just gonna actually, yeah. So could you introduce yourself, yeah, in your own words?
All right. So just quickly, I am from Belgium. I'm 49 years old. I moved to Thailand like 12 years ago, where I have a perfect life, doing tourism business, and then I was in Laos, near the Mekong River, and it was that DJ that was looking at this computer and told me about crypto, and then we left, and I did my own research. So the first time that I heard about cryptocurrency was from the Mekong River in Laos, in the beautiful city called Luang Prabang. You have to visit the city; it's beautiful. It's UNESCO protected, whatever. So I started to do my research and I found Bitcoin, of course, and I found directly the problem of the proof of work, the electricity consuming, and I found that proof of stake, and then I directly went to Cardano for the reason that we all know. But I wasn't there actually to be billionaire in a week or in a day. I was actually there to put my 30 years life saving into a pool and have 5-6% return and have a perfect, decent life in a cheap country, cheap life. I'm not a jet setter. I don't need expensive money, but I was expecting Shelley and staking in Q1 2018, actually. That's when I went to Cardano, and then, yeah, we had the delay that we know. And then the stress came in each part, Charles' parts, my parts, I think some community parts, some stress came. And finally, we have Shelley now. Finally, we can stake. So it's just great that it took a little bit of time, but we are finally there. Glad to be there. I left for a couple of reasons. I came back for a couple of reasons. And, I'm just, as long as people will give me support, like the message you said, I'm fine to be there. That's it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So one of the things actually I'm quite looking forward to you and I have had some really rich conversations, say about spirituality, for example, right? Talking about like the
Four
particle and the
hours. It was
wave.
our first talk was 4 hours.
4 hours long, I know. Yeah. So yeah, yeah. We're definitely sort of on a particular like awesome frequency there, and I'm looking forward to like as we've spoken about a little bit earlier, like having expanded conversations with you, in the context of governance, right?
Mhm.
And as well as actually trying to try this weird idea of doing like a stream, which is around like meditation and stuff. And so, yeah, so looking forward to that again, because Castor Live is about experimentation and stuff. Right, so now to just jump right into it. So yeah, we've got 10 points. We're just gonna, quickly go through them. The idea is to, to try and get some sense of, what lessons, basically in hindsight, did Nostradamus sort of gather, as he went through the process on Fund 2. So the first one is challenge. So could you share your thoughts slash your interpretation of the Fund 2 challenge, which was how do we best get like developers and entrepreneurs to build on Cardano in like the next 6 months or something like that?
Mhm, mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. I think that topic was largely misunderstood by the community, and it had to be much more precise than this, I think, because it opened it. In French, we say it was the door open at every at every window. I mean, it's just like, okay, the question or the challenge is not so accurately expressed that people can just throw whatever they have, and that's what they did actually.
Yeah.
So I think the way they write this challenge should be much more specific, and it was too wide. Whatever,
Okay.
it was a good topic, and I think it's important to bring people like that into our community. That's and it was a bunch of beautiful projects. My project was mostly like an idea more than a project. It could be developed in many different ways. But in some way, indirectly, my project was also bringing more safety feeling or feeling more secure with your wallet. And I think it's beneficial for everyone holding a wallet, include the developers. And if developers go visit some companies, they will say, yeah, but in case of losing keys or in case you die, we have a solution for you. So it can help the developers to use my idea to put it into their speech when they have to sell their dapps to companies, that they can say, yeah, because that's what people, we will go to that topic later on, but I'm sure, but um, people want to have a feeling that in case they die or in case they lose their seed phrase, the 24 words, there's a solution there. And before, it wasn't any solution. When I met Charles the first time in Hong Kong, I asked him off microphone, what can I do to improve mass adoption? He told me, before we think about mass adoption, we need to solve problems, which is totally understandable. And two of the problems he gave me was that: what happened when you die, and what happened if you lose your key. And it took me a year, and I never really think about it. But when Catalyst came, I said, okay, let's try to solve that problem. And then it came, and it came because of meditation. But that's yet another topic.
Another topic. Okay, cool. So now moving on to to the second point, actually quite in line with meditation, I suppose. Ideation. How did you then develop the idea of proof of life?
Because I think the crypto ecosystem is here to solve problems. And I was thinking, Nostradamus, you do motorbike in Thailand, it can happen, whatever happens, what
Yeah.
happened to your crypto in case.
How?
And I
No,
was saying,
yeah.
yeah,
No,
I
how did you develop the actual idea itself? Sorry, because I feel like maybe that particular bit was missed. So like the idea of proof of life itself, like how did you start to develop it? Not how you came up with it, like how did you then develop it?
actually, I'm just here with the idea. I gave this project, but now it is done. But I gave this project to a company which has 6 developers. They do hardware, software. They did ATM machine for ADA. They did a vendor machine with ADA. I mean, they are very known in the Cardano ecosystem. So I choose them actually to develop it.
Okay.
But for COVID reason and different reason, we will mostly develop it in-house from someone who is a great developer who has several projects on the Catalyst already. He didn't get founded, but he's one of the most interesting developer there. And he said he's developing his own wallet, Cardano wallet. And he said, and we would just love to see proof of life as a native in the wallet. So when you will download the wallet, the proof of life will already be there free for people to use. So because he will do a kind of plug and play wallet. So you will come with different plugins, and one plugin can be proof of life, which is smart contract, and it can be played by his wallet. So there's different way we can develop it. The first idea was to develop it on Daedalus, on Yoroi, on Macintosh, on iPhone, on Androids. But now, for the moment, we will just work on our own wallet that will go on Windows. We will, because development on phones, iPhones, and different is thousands and thousands of dollars. And he will just include this because it says that what I'm here is just the idea, not developing it. I give this to the people who's the job. I hope this answer your question.
No, it does, cool. Okay, so metrics. How did you like figure out? Because part of what
Do,
the
do you want me to explain for the people to understand exactly the concept of proof of life? Because some people
maybe
may not know.
of course,
Okay.
go for it, please,
Okay. Okay. So actually, the goal is to solve two problems. What happens if you die accidentally, and what happens if you lose your 24 word keys? So the way to do it, my way to do it, is actually to transfer your ADA on the wallets that have this proof of life smart contracts that will run a dead man switch. You know this dead man switch? Those people, if they die, they will just release their hands, and then something will happen, trigger bomb or something, whatever. So that's actually the same thing. The smart contract will send you a notification by email, by SMS, by whatever. You will authenticate yourself with Prism to make sure that this is you. And you will say, you will answer the question saying, are you alive? And you will just press this button. It's only one button on the mail. You just press this button and say, yes, I'm alive. And then this countdown timer will just restart for another month, for example. So every month we will have a timer that will say, okay, 29, 28 days, and then at day 0, send a notification, you press the button, and then it starts for another month. In case you die, or in case you lose your key, you just don't do anything. If you die, you cannot do anything, whatever. But if the smart contract detects that what you choose is like 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, if you miss 3 notifications, 6 notifications, or 12 notifications, the entire wallet will be transferred to a backup wallet that belongs to your children, that belongs to Binance accounts, to sell them, to go to Coinbase when we will be on Coinbase and sell to fiat for your children, whatever. But if you lose your keys, the same thing. You just have to wait, 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months, depending on what you want. It can be 4 months and then 12 days, whatever. But you will have to wait that time, and then you will consider that nobody is there, so it will just automatically transfer the fund. And what is great is that the backup wallet is empty until the transfer is made. So basically, those 24-word key and this wallet can be more open for people. I mean, it's not that scary to hold that wallet. Just in case the person die and the family is aware of the concept, then they will know that, okay, it should happen this week, that the transfer is found, and then you can just move it to even another wallet. So you can create cascades like this, and that's a very simple thing. It's just smart contract. And actually, even on Ethereum, we don't have this. We don't have this on any blockchain. So I hope that this proof of life will help Cardano community, but also bring people to Cardano, because they will say, hey, they can do this on Cardano. We cannot have this on Ethereum, or we cannot have this on the blockchain. So why not moving my fund to Cardano, stake there, make sure that the fund will be transferred in case of something wrong happen. And if someone have access to your email, what they can do is just press this, I'm still alive. So the delay is like 1 month. So it's not, there's no button like transfer me. So they cannot just hack you, that it's just one button say that
I'm alive.
The timer just go for another month or the 3 months, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's and the community responds so well to this idea, and then the full development was like, I think I was asking like more than $12,000, something like this, because the company that I hired at the time was asking me 11,000, like on 1,000 for the marketing. But
okay. I'll just stop you there because you're now sort of encroaching into budget, which is one of the questions here.
Okay.
So now I'll just quickly jump back. I was actually at the beginning going to ask you to sort of state the problem and then the solution, but then
Hmm.
I forgot. Um, but then when you spoke about the challenge, actually, I decided actually I feel like he's communicated enough of the problem there. But I'm glad you felt the need to actually explain it, and I think you've done quite a good job on that. So thanks for doing that. So
Sure.
now, number three, metrics. How did you arrive at metrics, right? So in the proposal, the idea is to give the community a sense of how to quantify the success of the proposal. The idea is that you sort of give them some sort of a metric. So like, how did you go about thinking about this particular aspect?
Uh, Actually, I didn't really because the project was aborted before that. So before I could start thinking about that. So actually, I can give the idea and die tomorrow. The idea can last. I mean, I'm not a developer. I don't have my codes. It will be an open source project. So people will be able to use it, and the success will come by the um, adoption of this wallet, or if it could be implemented in yoroi and daedalus, it will be just great. I mean, I'm not here. I was not on Catalyst to make money, or to. I was just there to say, okay, there's an idea there that is doable. Let's do it. And so, yeah, for the metrics, I cannot just exactly tell you. I mean, I'm just the ID conceptor, not every. I
The
mean,
implementer.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so this one I feel like you would have something to say about, which is number four, budget. How did you arrive at setting out your budget?
Depending on the company price. I mean,
Okay.
I didn't take a single US dollar for myself. I was planning to actually implement this proof of life natively in the wallet for free, and then asking like three ADA, something like that, not never more than $1 per smart contract that you write or per wallet. So it will pay for me then at that time. When it's an adoption, then I will get a little bit of money. One third will also go to the developer for further improvements in the future. And the last third was actually to go to a treasury wallet to refund. And that's where things went crazy with Catalyst. With other projects, that when I start to say I will refund the money, people just ban me and then trash me and say, "Ah, you're nuts! Why you want to refund?" And that's what creates a little bit of trouble, because actually, and then we will go to the treasury point that you have. But actually, I think Catalyst should be there to give a kickstart. But if that money, that 250,000 US dollar, could go back to the treasury, and the 500,000 that we are spending now for Fund 3 can also go back to the treasury in one way or another, in 5 years or 10 years, whatever. But if a little bit money can go back to the treasury, imagine the power of these treasury wallets in a few years. We will have incredible tools. We will have incredible community. We will just say there, thank you for the fish. And now we are big enough to swim ourselves, and the community will get some feedback. And
Yeah.
when you refund 100%, you're done, and you take the last 30% for yourself. And that's created a bit of problem, especially with some pool operators who clearly said that this is money is to fill their fridge, which for me personally missed the entire
Point.
vision of
Yeah.
building something beautiful, elegant, and stuff. But I understand people have to pay themselves. But those are YouTubers, those are pool operators. They've already a lot of revenue from Cardano. So that's maybe why they got some bad feedback from the community
From the
on the
community.
YouTube.
Yeah, but I feel like a quick point here, which actually we've discussed offline, is that's worth people future proposers considering is this notion that there are some people within the community who would look at anything that is funded through Catalyst as something that they've personally paid for, right? And then it's the whole thing of like I pay tax if you're a public servant, you work for me,
Sadly, yeah.
this
Sadly,
this sense of entitlement. So I feel like something worth considering for future proposers is if your project might sort of have a conflict, which a good example here is Tesla, for example, right? So Tesla in the early days, they got a loan, and they repaid that loan like in
yeah.
2 or 3 years. But to this day, people still point to that and say, "Oh yeah, no, by the way, no, but you got that loan, right?" So
Yeah,
like,
but yeah, yeah, yeah. But if you refund, you cut the grass under the feet of those people, because you say, "Hey, wait a minute, man, give me a few years, the money will go back," and then you cut all those kind of toxic speech. I
but
think so.
to some people, like that never ends. As I said, like with Tesla, they paid it back with interest, right? But people to this day still.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's just
I,
something.
I, yeah.
Yeah.
We should not care so much, I think, about that.
About that,
Uh,
yeah, but it's something worth just keeping in mind because that's something that personally
yeah.
put me off, and I was like, actually, I'm gonna self fund and not have to have that weird relationship with the community, especially
Mhm.
given that as you said, the conversation with not pool operators, with content creators, right? And
Mhm.
how the whole thing sort of kicked up. Okay, so now number five. Actually, we can talk about number five and number six in one. So number five is communication, and number six is community. So basically, communication is like what platforms like did you use Idea Scale? Did you find Idea Scale helpful in terms of communication, or Telegram or Discord? And then number six is yeah, how did you then use that to create community?
Uh, that's a long time ago because I quit all those. That was that's okay. Let's go straight to the point. In all those forums, messaging system, whatever you want to name it, it was a very tiny, small circles of moderators. Moderators were there from different social media, from Twitter, from YouTube, from forums, from uh, all Reddit and so on. And then it was a centralization of moderators, and I think that's what annoy me the most. Is that to me because it's nice to critique, but if you don't come with a solution, there's no point. The solution for me is to actually have a rotating system of moderators. Moderators no longer stay than 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. The community can decide. So we don't have this power from some people, and the anger or the bitter feeling that you can have through someone that posts a bad tweet on Twitter but ban you on the forum and say, why you ban me on the forum? I didn't post anything, but you're the same guy that made a tweet that they don't like. So that's I think where Cardano Foundation is wrong, and where maybe moderators at IOHK are wrong, is that they build their COC, the code of conduct. They build the COC in a way that is perfectly fine for a centralized system or a centralized company. But if you plan to build something different, like a decentralized world, decentralized ecosystem, you need to have a decentralized social media platform. And that's exactly what Ben Goertzel and Charles Hoskinson are developing now. And that's what I am yelling for years. When will we have moderators switching? Giving them another job, but don't fire them. Just say, okay, you are there for 3 months and you will come back in the next 6 months and again and again. But there's too much centralization there. So
Yeah.
the code of conduct is perfect, but need to be applied in the vision of decentralization. And it's not the case right now. And the problem, I think, with Bloom Pool and the Cardano Foundation can be part of it.
Hmm.
But I have no idea about it. But you should invite him. He should speak about it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I would invite him, but chances are he won't actually accept the invitation. But anyway, number seven, resources.
Mhm.
Are there in your whole like process, working on proof of life and putting together the proposal, was there any particular resource that you would recommend that you found really helpful, that some
Can you
future
define
proposer?
resource? Because for me, it's too vague.
Too
Sorry.
vague.
What
Okay.
do you exactly mean by resources?
Resource, so like something something which you found really helpful, like it could be something, for example, have you got something?
Meditation. Meditation, man.
Okay, yeah,
Actually, this you have to understand something. If you do meditation often,
yeah.
you don't get the result during the meditation or right after the meditation.
Mm,
But sometimes you are just at this red light at the corner, and you just get this answer coming to your problem just straight from nowhere, hitting you, and just said, "That's it." And if you do meditation enough,
mm,
you can solve so many problems. So my resource, where I try to find my inspiration, where I try to find, because all answer of all your questions are inside you already. You just
mm,
need to find them, and then they don't actually come from too many people. They are inside you. But in meditation, you don't get the result right now, but it happens. And that's exactly what happened for proof of life. I was like doing this catalyst, okay, what can I do? And then I said, yeah, but if I leave the switch for X period of time, then we can automatically trigger something. And that was it. So that's what, because I didn't use actually any other things. It's just an idea and concept. I mean, I'm very different from other projects because I'm not really there to push the project and make it and build it, but just have this crazy nuts idea. And I started working when I was the first time I was freelance. I was 20 years old, and I was man of the year for my activity just because the idea was nuts, and nobody was thinking about it, and was that's just great, why you just didn't do it before. And I was the first human truck in 1995. What I mean by human truck is that in my city the streets were like walking street, no cars, okay? It's
yeah.
like all shops, very charming city. And how can you make delivery there? So I was holding that food, and I was walking these 9 kilometers with 25 kilo of food each and every morning to bring food to the ladies who are in their shop. 100% of my customers were ladies, beautiful makeup ladies, right? I know
Yeah.
what I'm doing, man. I know what I'm doing. Okay, so and I bring their soups in the winter, fresh salads in the summer, wear with crazy hats, wear with crazy clothes, and people just got me crazy. But I got 7 times on radio, 2 times on Prime News TV. People were just shooting me in the street, Japanese people, just because you have a craziness idea. But then I was making it. But most of the time now, I just try to have things like, for example, I will build now in Thailand the first meditation center deep into the mangrove. So I will bring you by kayak to a floating platform just for you inside the mangrove. And you will be able to meditate there in the mosquito tent meditation season. So meditation is everywhere. I mean, mangrove is everywhere. But meditation center, I try to Google it. Meditation into deep mangrove, there's no way. I
Mm,
cannot find it anyway. And it's pure nature, it's quiet, and it's a perfect place to meditate in nature. Because here it's all plantations, and there's no more nature. It's all plantation, pine or rubber tree, and so on. So
mm.
I take my inspiration from meditation.
Okay.
That's my main resource.
Okay, cool. That was really
I'm
I did not
different. I'm
expect it
just
to go
different.
that way.
I'm for someone. I'm just crazy. For me, I like to be different.
Yeah, no, dude, like that's one of the reasons like I really like interacting with you, and one of the reasons why I thought this conversation would actually be really interesting and of value.
Thanks.
Yeah. So okay, so that was number seven, resources. Number eight is basically practices. What best practices did you arrive at during your experience? I'm not sure whether because I feel like maybe you answered that in in meditation question, but is there anything like no, not that meditation is not practical, but is there anything, so say outside of meditation, that comes to mind in terms of best practices which in your developing of proof of life you arrived at? If not, we can just move
I
on.
think it's very important to identify the problems.
Okay.
Uh, then the idea comes, right?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I mean, people will develop so many different things on Catalyst, way different than just having an idea and a concept. Just building tools like these web shops or these e-shops and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but back to what I said, it's just a concept, and I offer it to the community, and basically to the crypto community, because it's an open source, so everybody will be able to use it. If I can, I don't want to be rich about this, but if I can just say this concept has been adopted by Ethereum or by whatever wallets, I would just feel great, because it will save a lot of money. People will feel more secure. People will come to crypto more in a more secure way. They will feel more secure if they can have at least that. It's not the perfect solution, but it's one of the solutions that's
Mm,
possible
mm,
to do to
mm.
save your fund. So if I can just give that, I mean, that's the whole point for me. I don't need to go any further than this.
Yeah.
People will do it much better and improve it. And if someone can just break the concept and just tell me, yeah, but you didn't think about that, guy.
Yeah.
What happened if this? I said, yeah, okay, let me
Good.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
but so far,
Improve it.
even the developer that will put it normally in his wallet just said it's just an extraordinary idea,
Mm.
and everybody's surprised. So I did my job actually by
Yeah.
by doing this, and then you know.
Yeah, sort of like, yeah, that's the beauty of this. Like, you've come back to this, a number of times. The beauty of this is, traditionally people, have this attachment, right? Maybe this sort of even links, into meditation. People have this sense of attachment to things, and that transfers, to ideas as well. But what's really lovely about this is that a rising tide raises all boats. So having an idea out there, it's then actually whoever is best, comes together and actually makes it exist, compared to,
Mhm.
trying to hide it. So I would say, to summarize from what I hear you saying there, is for number eight, practices, best practices is coming back to the problem and sort of like having a look, have a look at the problem, and just sort of like loop back, create a feedback loop where you come back to the problem and have a look at it, because that then, gives you more and better insight. Right. So number nine, perspective. Looking back, what would you wish you knew at the start of
How deep in my underwear the Catalyst team will look, and then the community on top of it.
do you care to expand on that?
If I know it's not possible to do. I know it's for 2 years we wait for smart contracts. For 2 years, developers were already making things, and then when Catalyst came, they say, yeah, I have this, I have this, I have this. Why?
Mm,
Because they didn't wait for Catalyst to happen. They just made it by themselves at
yeah.
home and say,
Yeah.
okay, I will do this, I will do that. Like your channel, I'm sure you were thinking about this way before Catalyst, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's the case for most of the main projects. That was the case. So what I would do, I will say, okay, community, vote for existing working products, and they will win. The first prize will win $100,000, and the second one will win $50,000, and the third one will win $20,000, and so on and so on. And then you ask people first to cut the grass under the speech of people. Yeah, if the project failed. No, we're talking about a working project that already exists, right? So no risk there, all right? And then it's just like a reward for what you did for the community. So they pay you for the job that you made. They don't pay you first and then wait for the job. Who pay you your salary first at the beginning of the month?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. So
So,
in
so
hindsight,
if I was in Catalyst team, I will just decentralize the system in a way that the moderators are also changing and the team is changing. Not always door, not always the same people. I mean, there's a bunch of talented people in the community who can do their job and maybe have ideas, but for me, it's a little bit too much locked up now in the IOHK system. But it's their money now, so it's not treasury now, right? If I'm correct, I think
no,
it's still Charles' money. I'm
no,
not
no, no,
too
no, no,
sure.
no, no,
No?
no, no, no,
Okay, it's
no, no.
already part
It's
of
the
the
treasure.
treasury.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
so that's even more important to refund then, because refunding Charles I don't care so much, but refunding the community I think is important.
It's important.
So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, looking back, you found that the process was somewhat quite invasive, and if you could change anything, you'd change you'd add a prerequisite in terms of the projects would need to have existed beforehand to show like here people who've already done something,
Hmm.
there's already proven kind of thing,
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
yeah,
We don't need a finished product. We don't need 100% finished. It can
yeah.
be like working product, and then like every project will be improved by years,
Improving.
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So now, last point number 10, prospects. What lasting difference do you hope that proof of life would have made in the next 2, 3 years?
It needs to be implemented natively in every ADA wallet.
Okay.
That's
That's technical, but I feel like what I'm trying to get at with this particular question is like the human difference.
mhm.
Yeah, like the difference in sort of how we interact with each other from a human standpoint. What lasting difference do you hope proof of life will have?
I'm not sure I got lasting thing stuff. I
Like, okay,
Sorry
like
for my English. Sorry for my English. It's like
dude,
3 a.m. here. I'm a bit tired.
yeah, yeah, actually, again, thank you so much for actually
No,
staying
that's
up and
all night
yeah,
for you, man. All
3
night
a.m.
for you, man.
Yeah, just basically like yeah, looking back in like 2 or 3 years, like what difference basically would you hope that the fact that proof of life exists, like what difference do you hope it will like have, like a domino effect would have created? Was it
That feeling
adoption
of
or
more of feeling more secure. Is
okay?
it answering your question?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
no, exactly. Yeah, it is.
that feeling of being rested about if I got if I hit a truck. I mean, that's 30 years of life saving there for many people. There's a lot of money, and that's too bad. If you have to take care of your money, you need to have a backup system that
Yeah,
will trigger automatically without your hand. And without that, many people will just not go. When you say, don't cry to Charles if you lose your 24 key, he will not help you. He will not be able to help you. He will try to help you, he can't. So if we can give the tool to the people and have this feeling of like, okay, this is solved, that's solved finally, and there's other problem that we need to solve, and that's part of the wallets or whatever. But then give this feeling to humans that's okay. The crypto is less risky with this proof of life than it was before. So yeah, I think
yeah.
that.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's actually a really really good answer, I feel. And yeah, that basically that brings us to the end of our conversation. So again, thank you very very much, Nostradamus, for yeah, for making the time and also, for putting out this idea, right? Because I feel like to add on to what you just said, such a simple concept, if this existed earlier on in, say, for example, Bitcoin, Bitcoin, we all know, apparently, it's 21 million, right? And so far, it's believed there's like, a whole maybe 17 million which are gonna, be in existence. Why? Because majority of wallets, people have lost access, right? So, there's a real sort of like value here in terms of,
We could have unlocked the Satoshi wallet with this,
if he is
if it was
dead,
on
kind of
Bitcoin.
thing.
If
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was on
yeah.
Bitcoin wallet, right?
Yeah, it would have. Yeah. So yeah, so as you said, it's a simple idea, but often it's these simple ideas which are really beautiful and actually have such a big effect. And yeah, thank you for sharing it. Like I look forward to looking into it and in the future interacting with sort of what's the word, implementations of it as well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Thanks to
Cool, cool,
you.
cool.
Thanks you to having me.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just hide you for the moment, and I'll go ahead and just sort of close out. So yeah, thank you very much for the people who have actually been with us live. At some point, I think we had maybe close to 10 people watching, which is awesome. Thank you very much for stopping by. Again, yeah, thank you to Nostradamus for making the time, for actually contributing this idea and actually remaining within the community, right? Because often whenever someone comes across like tension, where people are like, yeah, you shouldn't be here, kind of thing, the fact that he's actually kept on and reached out to folks who actually like the guy who left the comment, that we spoke about earlier, Alex from Monad Pool, and myself and others, right? It's important to have contrarians and different perspectives, right? Yeah, because in a way, at the core, the difference here, the conflict is the legacy sort of centralized way, and people are quite sort of first who are adamant about us getting to a place of decentralization and accountability. So yeah, thank you very much, audience, for yeah, for turning up. I'm just gonna have a look. Yeah. So yeah, in closing, if you have an idea, right? If you're sort of turning up now, because some people are sort of still dropping into the conversation now as it's ending, but that's fine, right? You can catch the replay on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter even, right? So it's the handle is the same. So cast dot live, only the dot in the handle is dot, and yeah. So if you are interested, head over to cardano.ideascale.com. That's where Catalyst is at the moment. Create an account and have a look at the current proposals, whatever fund we're at this point in time, if you're watching this. And yeah, and reach out, right? So as I said, Catalysis is about actually engaging with proposers, putting a face to the proposals, and getting into the essence of the idea, and getting to a point where the broader community is actually able to be better informed about the ins and outs of the idea, and sort of like big picture, if this idea works, what would be the return on sort of intention, so to speak. So yeah, thank you very much for your time, and yeah, reach out on cast.live via Twitter, send me a DM, or you can actually, just join the Discord. There are a few of us over there. And yeah, let's actually, keep up the momentum and, and grow it. So yeah, thank you for your time. And whoop, there we go. And yeah, hope to meet you soon, or meet your ideas having, been